we are going to continue our election coverage with the race that the nation has been talking about and watching, the U.S. Senate race.
Yeah, absolutely. Republican J.D. Vance won 53% of the vote, beating out Democrat Tim Ryan. It wasn't until just before midnight that Vance declared victory. And our Austin Love is live with the promises he made. Austin, good morning.
Yeah, hey, good morning to you both. Well, this race promised to be a tight one, and certainly lived up to that hype. J.D. Vance defeating Tim Ryan late last night. But as far as what J.D. Vance promised to Ohio voters, he promised to continue to fight for workers, fight against the opioid crisis, and continue to fight for families. Here's what he had to say at that victory speech last night.
Win or lose, I said it was one of the coolest experiences of my entire life. But now the people of Ohio have given us a job. And what we need to do over the next couple of years, over the next 6 years, for the full length of this Senate term, whoever's in the majority, whatever the president looks like, we have a very simple job to do. It's to go to work every single day and fight for the people of Ohio, fight for our workers. Fight for our families, fight for the people struggling with the opioid addiction problem, fight for the people, the single moms struggling to raise babies just like my mom raised me.
Well, this was a highly contested race between Vance and Ryan. Ryan, a longtime Democrat serving in Congress since 2003. He will have to leave that now after he was defeated by the 38-year-old Vance, with the Senate currently at an even 50-50 between Republicans and Democrats. This race took on an added importance all across the nation. Now it finally is Vance's. He's a Middletown, Ohio native, receiving his bachelor's degree from The Ohio State University. He also went on to serve at the United States Marine Corps and also received his law degree from Yale, and he will now be a U.S. Senator after defeating Tim Ryan late last night. For more on this and how this race eventually boiled down to go to Vance, you can head to our website, WKYC.com. Back to you.
Especially since those polls were so tight. It's really interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah. Austin, thank you so much. And moments before J.D. Vance spoke, Democrat Tim Ryan thanked his supporters, conceding the election.
I just want to say to all of you that I am absolutely filled with gratitude. As someone who was the Democratic nominee, I have the privilege to concede this race to J.D. Vance, because the way this country operates is that when you lose an election, you concede. You respect the will of the people.
In the race for Ohio governor, incumbent Mike DeWine beat Nan Whaley, with the governor pulling in 63% of Ohio votes. He talked about what's next.
Our goal for every person in this state is for them to live up to their God-given potential, to remove all barriers that are hindering them from doing that. Because Ohio is the land of opportunity. And we must make sure that every Ohioan has that opportunity.
Throughout his re-election campaign, numbers consistently showed Governor DeWine leading the race for governor.
Across the nation, each party claiming key victories, but with razor-thin margins in some of the races that will determine which party controls Congress, it will likely be days or even weeks before we have full results. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Great job, guys. At the end of Election Day 2022, the political picture is beginning to take shape. Top of mind, which party will control the evenly divided Senate, with all eyes on a handful of competitive races. NBC News now projecting Democrat John Fetterman, the winner in Pennsylvania's all-important Senate race, against Republican Dr. Mehmet Oz, flipping that state blue.
I'll be the next U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania.
In Ohio, Republican J.D. Vance defeating Democrat Tim Ryan.
We've had a good night in the Ohio Republican Party, haven't we? Wow.
While Democrat Maggie Hassan keeps her Senate seat in New Hampshire. But some of the most critical races remain too close to call.
With the Senate, I went Republican. With the governor, I went Democrat.
In Georgia, the incumbent Republican governor defeated his Democratic challenger, while the two Senate candidates have been running neck and neck.
Just hang in there a little bit longer.
In the House, where big gains were predicted for Republicans, Democrats doing better than expected. In one highly competitive race, Abigail Spanberger holding on to her House seat in Virginia.
Thanks to your commitment and hard work, we have won this race.
With so much still up in the air, this midterm election day could stretch into weeks. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Alice, thank you so much. And coming up at 6:30, we are going to hear from Bree Jackson in Washington, D.C. as our election coverage continues. And we also have complete results on our website, WKYC.com. You can text the word results to 216-344-3300, and then we will send you a link right to your phone.